This soldier is stuck in the desert. He's been in this position for 2 days and 2 nights. His skin is burnt by the intense UV rays, but does not dare to take a step. He's afraid to take a step because he's stepping on a landmine. Tom is a sniper. 3 days ago, he was on a mission with his buddy Jack. They were walking through the desert. When a mine warning sign flew over from a distance. But the signs look old. Jack says it's all a bunch of bullshit. There must be no mines. And so he continued on his way. But the next second, he stepped on a mine. Jack was blown 88.8 feet away. Tom was about to go over to check. Suddenly there was a sound under his feet. He seemed to have stepped on a mine himself. That's when Jack next door started howling. Tom said, "Don't look at your legs." But Jack had to look. At that moment he found that both legs were blown away. Jack was so scared that he was frozen. Suddenly, he took out a gun and pointed it at his own head. The next second, he killed himself, with his comrade dead. Tom was even more devastated. He wanted to make sure it wasn't a mine. He took out his pocket knife and carefully stabbed it. Now he was sure of it. He tried to get a radio and contact headquarters, but it was in Jack's backpack. Tom untied his shoelaces and tied the axe. He tossed the axe and hooked it directly into the backpack. He took out his radio and plugged in the solar rechargeable. Finally, contacted the headquarters, but headquarters said the war was too fierce to send a rescue team. They suggested that Tom dig a hole next to it. Count 3, 2, 1, and jump in when the mines aren't looking. Tom was so angry that he wanted to gnash his teeth, but he had a mine under his feet. He could only grit his teeth. Finally, the headquarters said it would take at least 52 hours for help to arrive. They told Tom to enjoy the view first. At this point, there was no other way but to wait. Tom pulled out all his equipment and did an inventory. He ate something, and then drank some water to calm down. At that moment, the bag in his hand suddenly flew out. Tom turned his head. He was instantly dumbfounded. This man got down on one knee in the desert. He did not propose marriage, but stepped on a mine. As soon as you move, you will be blown to pieces with your comrades. At that moment, a large wave of sandstorm came. He hurriedly put on his backpack and scarf. He stuck his sniper rifle in the ground. He held on for 66 minutes. The sandstorm finally passed. The body of his comrade was blown over. Tom found the radio battery on him, but the radio was blown 10 meters away. That broke his heart. Without the radio, there was no way to contact help. Tom had been trapped here for 7 hours. His skin was badly sunburned by the intense UV rays. He drank the last drop of water. He fired a few shots into the air and shouted for help, but the desert was endless. There was not a single person in sight. Without water, it was impossible to last 52 hours. He took out his gun and was about to give himself a shot. At that moment, he saw a person not far away. It seemed to be a nearby villager. The villager came towards him. Tom wanted him to bring the radio to him, but he ignored him. He took Tom's water bottle. He just told him to take a step forward and you're free. Tom thought he didn't understand what he was saying. He explained loudly that he had stepped on a mine, but the villager turned around and left. After half an hour, a kid came by with a water bottle. He also came towards him. Tom took the canteen and drank a lot. The child took out a toy soldier and put it on the ground. She pushed the soldier, meaning that he should take a step forward. Of course, Tom didn't dare to do that. He told the kid to bring the radio over, but she couldn't talk. She turned around and ran away. Once again, hope was dashed. At this point, it was 18 hours before the rescue team arrived. Night falls. Several wild dogs surrounded Tom. This man is surrounded by the corpses of wild dogs. He's been trapped in the desert for 48 hours because he stepped on a mine under his foot. His left foot has been engorged with blood for so long that it has begun to fester. He had run out of water. He can only drink his own urine. When he was hungry, he ate scorpions in the desert. That's when the villager appeared. He saw Tom drinking urine and was very impressed, so he helped him bring the radio over. That's when the radio responded. Tom rushed to pick up the reply, but the headquarters said that the weather delayed the rescue for 17 hours. This time Tom completely cannot hold out. He leaned forward. Just as his feet left the mine, the villager helped Tom up. The villager applied sunscreen to him. Tom asked him why he was walking in that position. The villager told him because he was free. He could walk however he wanted. He made Tom drink homemade juice. He said it would ease the pain, but the side effect was that he would hallucinate. Before leaving, he again encouraged him to take a step forward. Sure enough, just after the villagers left, Tom was hallucinating all sorts of things. The desert began to split up. Tom went back to his childhood home. He saw his mother being abused by his father. When he was about to go to stop his father, he stepped on a mine. Seeing his girlfriend being bullied by hooligans, he was about to go over and beat them up. He stepped on a landmine again. When he saw his mother lying in the hospital with a serious illness, he was about to go to take care of her. He stepped on a landmine again. Each time because of this step. Each time, he regrets it. That's when the radio went off again. The rescue team had arrived, but they couldn't locate Tom, and the flare was not far from him, but now it was like 2 miles away for him. That's when Tom was hallucinating again. His comrade came to life. He told Tom to take a step to get the flare, but he still didn't move. Finally his comrade handed him the flare. The next second, he turned into sand. Tom decided not to wait any longer. He took a step forward with all his courage, but the mine didn't explode. He dug it up and saw that it was a tin can. Inside was a soldier's toy. Tom collapsed on the ground and laughed at himself. So it was a tin can that kept him here for 3 days and nights. Life is just like that, right? Sometimes it's not the minds that trap you. It's the heart that doesn't dare to move forward. Life is like a movie. Movies are like life. Follow me to watch the most exciting movies.